Okay, so I'm Holly. I'm a business coach for newbie entrepreneurs, as you probably know. And this is Corey. She's my client. She went through my 6-week program. And today we're going to talk about what she went through and all the things that changed for her after going through coaching with me. So go
Yes.
ahead and take it away, Corey, and tell us who you
Yeah.
are. Tell us a little bit about
Hi.
your business, and then we'll jump in.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Corey Pickett, and I'm a weight loss coach for moms that just want to stop being controlled by food. And
Mm,
I found Holly, and I just knew that I needed her. And yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for the shift that I've made in just like this short time that we've worked together. I'm like, my boot camp that I just created is totally booked.
yes,
Like
it
all
is.
these people are super excited and it's
Mhm.
just fun to like work on my business where it used to feel not that fun. Like it kind of
Yeah.
felt like a chore. And now I'm like,
Yeah.
what more can I do? So it's so fun. I'm so
What
excited.
an awesome phase to be in. I love that's the phase that I feel like comes after all the crap. And I
Mhm.
think for you too, let me know if I'm wrong here, but like after working through the hard stuff that we went through, like now you get the benefit of like having fun and being like, how else can I serve these people?
Yes, 100%. I feel like it was totally like you helped me see like all amazing coaches do, like all the ways I was getting in my own way, and
Yes.
creating my own crap
Mhm.
and like living in my crap. And you're like, why don't you just step out of the crap? It's nice up
Yeah.
here.
Right. And you're like,
So
what?
yeah.
There's another way to
I'm
be?
like, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So fun.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about what are some of the things that you actually did going through the 6-week process. Like I know we helped you carve out your offer, we helped you with your pricing, we really worked on social media and copy and what you're saying. What else do you feel like you got and what you were able to take away?
I think the biggest thing you gave me, and I already feel like I sort of touched on this, was just like the mindset shift.
Mm,
Cause
mhm,
I feel like in my head, it makes sense why I was, not having very many clients because
mhm.
of how I was thinking about it and
Yeah.
thinking about
How were you
myself.
thinking?
I
Yeah,
was
tell me.
thinking they don't want this.
Mhm.
It's like nobody wants to work with me. Like obviously thoughts that were just repelling everyone,
Yeah.
right? Or like everyone will hate me if I become successful. So that was mixed in there too. And
Mhm.
yeah, you just shifted my mind in a way where now I'm like, I'm actually in demand. Like people
Mhm.
need things for weight loss that actually work.
Yes.
And this works. And I
Mhm.
just was able to like drop all of that drama and all that
Mhm.
story. And now it's like, this is fun because it's not, it's again, it's like not focused on me. It's focused on
Mhm.
these people
Yeah.
and what they need and knowing that I have what they need. So that's
How
really
are you
awesome.
able to make that shift? Because I know a lot of people in the beginning are thinking about themselves. They're like, oh, I don't look good on camera, or I didn't say it right, or they
Mhm.
have this offer that they're thinking nobody wants this. A lot of people
Yeah.
think. And to be clear, like I used to think that about my offer too in my beginning of my coaching career. And of
Yeah.
course, my result was nobody wanted to sign up with me.
Right.
So I know you said it's like the mindset shift, but for people that are like, but how do I do that like Corey
Yeah.
did? How would you describe how you moved out of that space and into
Yeah.
the space of like,
Well, I think it's like on like kind of a continual thing even. Like
mm-hmm,
I think that the way that you point it out to me, like you just can't see what you can't see. Like when you're
mm-hmm,
in it, like having a coach show you, that was just so helpful to like
mm-hmm,
see, oh, I am doing that. Like she's
mm.
totally telling me what I'm doing. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a new it's like you're seeing yourself through new glasses. So then you
Mm.
can like now I'm like, oh, I'm doing it again. So but you also help me see how I can like move out of that by remembering the other thoughts I believe. It's like kind of like you have two stories going at once in your
Yes.
mind maybe.
Yeah.
And it just got so familiar to believe the one. Like I can't do
Mhm.
it. Nobody wants it, blah blah blah. I'll just post.
Sorry, I had to laugh
I'll
because
just post anyway. But
now
then
you're like,
now, but I'm like, no, I'm believing also that like this other story I mentioned, like I'm in demand, people
mm-hmm,
need this. So I just noticed now where I'm at a little clearer.
mm-hmm,
I feel like you help me see the story clearer, and so then I can identify it and shift out of it. So I don't feel like it's like, oh, I'm
mm-hmm.
here. It's more
Yeah.
of a continual management, which is totally great,
A
you know. Yeah.
continual bossing your brain around.
Boss that bitch
Yeah,
around.
you have to boss that bitch around because it gets messy and it's like, let's go back to
Yeah.
this old way of thinking where we think nobody wants it. And then we have no clients because that's familiar. Right.
Right. Exactly.
Um, oh, and I also want to mention too, for those of you who are like, okay, I know I'm thinking about this about my offer that nobody wants this, but it creeps into little things like, okay, you're going to post today. And even though you're not even talking about your offer, maybe you're like actually just in post mode, you're thinking, well, nobody wants this. Why am I posting again? And it feels like a chore and it feels horrible. And then you don't want to post it. And maybe you procrastinate and then you don't post it. And then you prove yourself true that nobody wants it because they never got to see
Yep.
your post. It was so brilliant.
Yeah. Right. You just
Yeah.
get so good at believing this story
Mm-hmm.
because it's like it's easy to for your brain to find
Mm-hmm.
that evidence, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we had a very cute little interruption. Tell
You.
us about you being a mom and building a business and what that's like for you. Because I know there's so many people out there, women who are moms that are like, I can't possibly do a business. I have little ones at home. And
Yes.
you got
Well,
a few,
what?
right?
Yeah, totally. Well, one thing we really pointed out together was I had this thought too, like I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time. Even if I got clients, I work for this life coach school, I don't have time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
then we're like, well, let's look.
Yeah.
And I
Like,
like
let's do the math.
actually do have like 4 hours that are
Mm-hmm.
totally open. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to like look at the truth of what's
Mm-hmm.
happening and separate that from the story your brain likes. Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you keep believing, oh, I'm a mom, I can't do this, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of easier,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Like
then you
it's
don't have to do it.
scary. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
scary to get out there and put yourself out there and try to create a business. So your
Mm-hmm.
brain kind of likes it. But if you
Yeah.
like factually look, you're like, oh shit, I actually can. I do have this.
Yep.
So now what? So that was really
Yeah.
cool too, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this space.
Yes.
My brain is a liar, which is
Mm-hmm.
so often true, right? So I think just
Yes.
not believing the lies.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you're a mom? You can
Yeah.
still like how I just like to think, what am I teaching my kids? I'm teaching them to go after their
Mm-hmm.
dream. And I just think that's really valuable for them to see. Like we're just taught so, or not even taught, we're just like so many messages for moms, like be the be everything for
Mm-hmm.
them, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important to take like to do the things that you want to do, to follow your dreams. I think that's just as valuable for your
Yeah.
kids to see that as like
Yeah.
playing with them or
Mm-hmm.
cooking them amazing meals or cleaning the house perfectly, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just important to go after what you
Yeah.
want too.
Yeah. And how I called Corey on this was I was like, let's look at the actual calendar,
And I was like,
right?
no.
Because right, there's like hours that you forget that you don't even remember. Like, oh, last week I spent an hour doing this, and I could be using that hour to build my business, right?
Right. Yeah.
Another thing I like to tell moms is listen, you've had a baby, you could do a business. Like that
Right.
shit
Right.
is hard. You've
Right.
kept a human alive. That's fucking
Mhm.
hard. You can do that. You can do a business for
Right.
sure. Right.
Totally can. And like, yeah, so for sure, just like not believing the
Mm-hmm.
lies and then
Mm-hmm.
just you do it even if it gets hard, you do it
Mm-hmm.
anyway. It's
Yeah.
like there's so many things in business I feel like that are just a
Mm-hmm.
habit,
Mm-hmm.
like sending an email every week. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Like
Yeah.
you just say no to all the excuses. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing this.
Yeah.
Here's the time. Go for it. It's done. It's over. And
Mm-hmm.
there's no drama. You just decide
Mm-hmm.
instead of
It's
like,
yeah.
huh.
And those are a bunch of skills that you learn as a mom. Like we got a lot of laundry and we just do it. We don't have to like try to figure it out or convince ourselves to do it. It's just like you just do it. You
Exactly.
build the habit of doing it.
Right. So true.
Okay. So let's talk about, okay, what was it like for you to work with me one-on-one? Because I know a lot of people like follow me on social media and they're like, oh, I'm good with social media. I got
Yeah.
it. But what was it like for me to be all up in your business, all up in your Voxer?
Oh my gosh. So two things come to mind. Number one, it's a freaking party. Like
It's a
Holly,
party.
yeah, like Holly is who she is on social media, and I guess you call it off. Like when
Yeah.
she's one-on-one with you, she's the same. So she's
Mhm.
fun, she's energetic, and I think the second thing I want people to know is she tells you the truth.
Yeah.
Like we're friends, and but
Mhm.
she still wasn't like being, like she told me the thing I needed to hear,
Mhm.
where maybe I don't know, like if we're friends she might be like, oh, you're doing great,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have grown. So
Mm.
I like both of those aspects. Like it's like a
Mhm.
party, but you're going to get straight talk too, like,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
what are you doing here? And
Yeah.
so it's a perfect mesh of party
Good.
and I don't know what you want to call that other half.
Yeah.
Calling
Like
it
a
how
little
it is.
bit of tough love, a little bit of
Yeah, 100%, but so worth
yeah.
it. Like I'm
Mhm.
like, "Ugh, it was so great. It was so fun."
Good. Yeah. And this is another thing I tell everybody at the beginning, right? Is like, there's no people pleasing around here with you and me. Like, you tell me the truth, and I'm going to tell you the truth, and we're not going to please each other, but you are going to get some real hard truths that you need to hear in order to grow. That's going to help
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's I think you just got to know going into it. That's what I want. Like we don't
Yeah.
want the friendship
Yeah.
response anymore. We want
Yeah.
that the one that's gonna help
And
you
that's what
grow.
you pay for, is like
Yeah.
the
Right?
discomfort of growth. When you pay for a coach to tell you those things, that's when you
Yes.
exponentially grow.
Exactly. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was the biggest tool that you learned, or something that was like the biggest idea or shift that really changed things for you? Like the biggest catalyst for your growth?
Yeah. So the biggest game changer for sure for me was Holly teaches this a lot, I think, on your page
Mhm.
too, but like the hook, value,
Mhm.
call to
Mhm.
action sequence, because I
Yeah.
swear I don't know what I was doing before. Probably just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, talking at them. Well, like
Mhm.
even like when I would start my videos, I'd be like, hey, how's it
Mhm.
going?
Mhm.
Blah blah blah. And like they're gone.
Yeah.
So having that hook first, like
Mhm.
I think of that all the time now, whether I'm writing an email or I'm doing a video, I'm like, I'm gonna hook them, give them
Mhm.
value, and call them to action.
Mhm.
And that's just the sequence now, where before I don't know, I didn't have a
Mhm.
sequence. I was just,
Mhm.
it's like I was really good at showing up.
Mhm. Yeah, you were.
But
Yeah.
and so that part wasn't hard for me, but the part about like, why do they care? I got to hook
Yes.
them, and
Mhm.
saying it in their own words
Mhm.
was really useful. So yeah, I think that was the biggest game changer, because now I'm like, even without Holly, I can do it. I can
Mhm.
ask myself, is this going to hook them? Is this
Mhm.
the value they really need? And like, what can I have them do to like
Mhm.
draw them a little closer to me?
Yeah. Okay. And so can you tell them a little bit about why you need to hook them? I mean, you talked about it a little
Yeah.
bit, but like, because I want to see what you think about this, but my thought is like, if I need to grab their attention, because that's all social media is, like attention. They're paying you with your attention. So my thought is like, okay, hooking them is the biggest act of service, because then now I get them to pay attention to how to get the results they actually want in their business.
Yeah.
So how do you see the hook, and why do you use it now?
Well, I love that. I love your definition. I think now how I see the hook is like I like to think of it like, how do I say it in a way that will make sense to them? Because with
Mhm.
coaching, I feel like
Mhm.
coaching, we have like a whole nother way
Mhm.
of talking about even
Yeah.
how we're trying to help people, and
Yeah.
you get in your own coach brain. And that's probably what I was doing. I was like,
Mhm.
here's all the coach crap. And they're like,
Mhm.
huh? So for
Mhm.
me, the hook is like, I want to put this in her own words, or
Mhm.
in a way that makes sense to her. So, like you're saying, so I can serve her,
Yeah.
so that she can know what I'm really doing. Cause I think before you, I think there was probably a lot of confusion of like, what is she really talking about? I like this, but I don't know. So for me, the hook is like a way to kind of bridge that. I like come
Mhm.
back to where she's at, say it
Mhm.
a little bit in her words, and then give her the value
Mhm.
that she is looking for and wants, if that makes
Yes.
sense. So
Yes. And to be clear, for those of you watching, this isn't just a coach thing. Like I have a financial advisor that I'm coaching right now, and she's all up in her financial jargon that her clients don't understand. So if you're speaking in big words that are like of your industry, but your client, they need to work with you so that they can understand those words.
Yeah.
And so you have to speak to them that way so that they know that you can help them.
Right. That's such a good point. I didn't even
Mhm.
think of that, but that is so true. It's like
Yeah.
all over in all industries. We
Yes. They
have
get lost in the sauce.
language.
Even like a cook or a chef, it's like if you're talking about cutting, and I don't even know any of the chopping terms, but like if what's the difference between a slice and a dice and a I don't know.
Yeah, like fillet or something,
Yeah,
right? Like there's all kinds of
no
yeah,
clue.
totally.
Where
I don't
if
know
you're
either, but they could be just
yes,
rambling. And
yes.
you're like, I don't care or I don't get
Mhm,
it, so I'm out
mhm.
real fast.
Right. Instead of like if you were somebody who was like teaching me how to cut an onion in 30 seconds instead of 5 minutes of crying, I'm going to need to know, like, tell me the basics in my language, not
Yeah.
in your expert professional language. If you're selling me on how to do that, I need to know that you're talking to me and I need to understand it. So,
Yes.
yes, total act of service to hook them and speak to them in their languages.
Yes.
Chef's kiss, pun
Yeah, it
intended.
is. Well, it's like totally a game changer. I feel like now people are like talking to me and interacting,
Mhm.
and where they were like
Yes.
there, but like we don't know
Right.
what's going on for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think was hard in this 6 weeks that we spent together that was like difficult for you or felt like an obstacle?
Let me see here. What well, you know what it was? I'll be honest, it was hard
Mhm,
to hear. It was like you
mm,
told me things in a way that I kind of knew, but maybe
mhm,
was pushing out of my head. Like,
mhm,
so it was hard to hear the hard thing, but at the
mhm,
same time, so that's I think good for people to know. Like, you're gonna
mhm.
be like, shit. But
Yeah.
that in that is a choice there
Mhm,
to decide, well, do I want to take this and get better? Or do I
mhm.
want to be like mad at Holly? Or
Yeah.
what, like there were times when I was like,
I know.
I just want her to like what I did the
Yeah.
first time and she's not going to like it. But like that's the good part, right?
Right.
And I
Yes.
mean that with like she's not going to
Mhm,
like it in the most loving way.
mhm.
Holly, okay, she's still Holly. She's not going to like shove it back at your face. But you just have that,
Yeah.
like for me, I was like, there's just such need to want her to have her already
Mhm,
like it. To like tell
mhm.
myself I'm already good.
Right. Yeah.
But the truth was I needed it. I needed the help
Yeah.
to give me. So if yeah, it
Mhm,
was just hard to see the ways that I kind of knew I wasn't
mhm. Yes.
doing
Yes.
it right,
Yeah. And I say too, like to my clients, like I can sense it too. And I'm like in Voxer, like, hey, it's okay if you want to punch me right now. It's totally fine. I get it. I'll take it.
Yeah,
And
right.
I'm still gonna give you your medicine so you can get
Ah,
better, right?
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I can't
So good.
remember which business book this is. I cannot for the life of me remember, but he teaches about when he loves being wrong because when he's wrong, he gets to learn. And if you're
Mm,
just right all the time, you never learn and you're just like getting all these like gold stars, but it's like, but is it working? So I always love to say, like, this is why I always love having a coach is I love them to be like, nope, that's not it. Nope, do it again. Nope, make it better, make it juicy. Cause then I grow. And so
yeah.
yes, it is hard to hear, but it for me, it becomes kind of addicting. I'm like,
No, right.
tell me.
Yes. Well, because you're totally right. Like we even had those one-on-one experiences
Mhm,
where with our calls, you
mhm.
would say that. No, do it
Yeah.
again. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up.
No.
But like by the end, we're
Yes.
like, yes, and that experience of all
Mhm.
the like, no, 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 do it
Yes.
this way, try it again, was
Yeah.
so rewarding at the end. Where if you were like, yeah,
Mhm.
I like
Keep
it, I would have been
going.
like going back to my same old
Yes,
biz of
exactly.
not really helping
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah. And what Corey's talking about is a lot of times in our sessions, I use that time to role play. So, like with your business, you were giving me a pitch or you were giving me like a call to action or you're explaining something in your offer. And I was being a total client, being like, what does that mean? I don't know. And it was hard for you, right? Because
I was like, ah, it means
you had to
this.
come up with a new way to say it and a
Yeah.
new way to hook me. And so, yes, that feels like ass. And now you have that practice and having that experience of saying it so that you could say it to anyone on the street and help them in their language.
Yes. Well, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like sticks with you that way, right? It's
Mhm.
almost like the the discomfort makes it
Yes.
burn into your soul or something. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't want to do
Yeah.
it that way. This
Mhm.
way is so much better. So good.
Right. Yeah. So we do a lot of role play and practice. Like I think that's another thing that's different from other coaching programs is like I always needed the practice of doing it. So I would say it alone in my car and be like, this is my pricing. Like when I was like really stuck on it was 6 weeks for $600. I was freaking the fuck out about that. And I would say over and over and over in my car while I was driving, I was like, it's $600. It's $600. And I just had no one to bounce it off of. So that role play, I just love doing it with my clients because they really get the practice in.
Yes, so good.
Yeah.
Such like that. Yeah, best thing ever.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to celebrate you again. Tell me what you're most proud that you overcome, that you created in your business now.
I think I'm the most proud of like now. I used to be this like watered down version of me before, and I think I'm most proud because it's scary
Mm-hmm.
to be me
Yeah.
fully out there. It's like really vulnerable, but at the same time, when you're trying to like water yourself down, it's tricky because you're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, what do they want? Who do
Yeah.
they want to see? And so I'm most proud of being able to just show up as myself, like unapologetically. This is me. Hi, instead of like, I got to say it the right way or be the
Mm-hmm.
right, look the right way, whatever. I feel like that shift has been so good because now it's like freedom. It's just,
Yes.
it's scary, sure. But I'm like, you know what? People are thinking things about me anyway. Might as well be myself
Mm-hmm.
and have it come natural
Mm-hmm.
instead of like trying to figure out the right
Yes.
thing, which
Yeah.
is where I was living hard
Yeah.
before.
And they're all dying to meet you and know you more closely, right? You're
Mhm.
like, I know this is watered down version of Corey, and I love her, but let's get the water out. I want her like concentrated experience, concentrated core. I want that. Like they're craving your authenticity, and you've come such a far way of like letting that version of yourself out of the cage. So
Yes.
good, and
So
that's
fun.
why your program's all booked out,
I
right?
oh yeah. So fun. Yeah.
And I just want to point out something there is like I purposely let's talk about celebration because celebration is a huge part of this program and what it's like to work with me because most women don't like receiving that attention.
Mhm.
Right? If you can't receive it, you're not going to go create it in your business. And when you don't acknowledge it within yourself, like
Yeah.
you're going to keep creating the old results that you don't want, like with less clients. So let's talk about that a little bit. Is like, what was it like for you to learn this skill of celebrating?
Yeah. Well, it's like, what's the alternative too? I think learning the
Yes.
skill of celebrating, it's like I could make this miserable the entire time and
Uh-huh.
never notice anything that I'm doing right. Or I could really notice the things and it's like motivation and energy to keep
Mhm.
going. It's like
Mhm.
it makes it okay to be wherever you're at and just
Yeah.
look for things to celebrate instead of like, oh, when I get here, I'll celebrate. Like when I have
Mhm.
5-10 millions of clients, then I can
Mhm.
celebrate. But up until then, I've done nothing right. You feel
It's
like
so
ass,
sad.
you know?
It's so sad,
Like
right?
yeah, like that skill of celebrating now
Mhm.
is so fun. It's
Mhm.
just a shift of like,
Yes.
this is fun now. And I think that's a
Yes.
big part of what makes it fun, is that
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
noticing all the ways I can celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the littlest increments, like I'll just offer for people listening is like I celebrate when I get a new person on my email list. I'm like, yay, she's gonna get so much better in her business just by signing up. Woohoo! Like it doesn't have
Mhm.
to be money that I'm celebrating. It doesn't have to be
Right.
signing up somebody up for a consult that I'm celebrating. Like all the littlest things, like why not celebrate it?
Yeah. Right. Well, because it might not always be the money right
Mhm.
away, but like what's going to keep you going in your business?
Yeah.
Is it,
Yeah.
like I said, what's
Beating
the
yourself up.
alternative
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
celebrating? We're going to keep going for life,
Mhm.
man. And
Yeah.
that's what we want.
Commitment. Mhm. Yes. Okay, so how did it feel to invest in yourself and your business?
Sorry, what say that again? How did I what?
How did it feel to
Oh,
invest
how
in
did it
yourself and
feel?
your business? Yeah.
Yeah, it felt, I'll, at first I was kind of like, I don't know. I think I've come a long way with that where now like I felt pretty good,
Mhm.
but I can see where there might be people that are like, oh
Mhm.
no, that's
Yeah.
a big amount or whatever and feeling
Mhm.
nervous.
Mhm.
But no, I felt like, hell yeah, I'm in. Like, I think
Mhm.
it's this, just the way you are, you authentically you spoke to me. So
Mhm.
that taught me a lot too about that, like just being myself is going to draw
Yes.
the right people. And then it was
Mhm.
just an easy yes.
Mhm.
And now I'm like, I don't know what I want to buy other than coaching personally. Like
Same
I'm like,
here.
shoot, I gotta go buy more coaching because that's the
Yeah.
only, it was so worth it, so valuable. I just want Holly in my life
Mhm.
forever. Can't always be, but
I'll
anyway,
be here.
well, you'll be in my
Yeah.
life, but like as my coach, I'm like,
Yeah.
what is it gonna be? Like, what
Mhm.
would it cost, Ollie?
Yeah.
Or I'm
I'm
talking
like,
till
come on
death do
in.
us part. No.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know, for me, I wasn't too nervous about that, but if you are, I just think it's totally
Mhm.
worth it, and that's okay to
Mhm.
feel whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I was like all in. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you have come a long way. And I feel like this about investing in coaching for myself too, because I've done it so many times. But let's like if you could think back to when you were newer in your business
Yeah.
or when investing in coaching was like a brand new thing for you, let's like speak a little bit. What would advice would you give somebody who's like new in their business that is
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I have to buy a super expensive website, or like they're like, I'll just do it myself. I'll just read all the books and DIY it. Like, because that's also an option too.
It
So
is.
let's talk about, yeah.
Yeah, I would just say that option's going to take you so much longer because I
Mm-hmm.
do remember back to like the very first coach I
Mm-hmm.
hired feeling
Mm-hmm.
like a little bit like,
Yeah.
holy hell, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but just noticing the growth that I made with her was so
Mm-hmm.
much faster than, you're right. Like I could go read
Mm-hmm.
all the books, I could go
Mm-hmm.
try it on myself, but it's just somebody that gets you on the fast track.
Mm-hmm.
So I, I would just totally
Mm-hmm.
recommend. And yeah, I mean, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's why I want more of it because I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, she helped me so much so fast. Who else can
Yeah.
help me? Like it's like
Yes. Mm-hmm.
it's like addicting and
Mm-hmm.
fun. And then my business, like my boot camps overflowing,
Yes.
where it was like crickets. So that
Mm-hmm.
it's like kind of like a no-brainer, really.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're scared, that's okay. You just
Mm-hmm.
do it, and then you'll
Mm-hmm.
see. You'll see at the end that wow, they really did help me so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, want to go
Yeah.
fast or slow? It's up to you.
Yes, I totally think about coaching as a fast track too. And the reason why it's a fast track, because I know some people listening are like, alarms, fast track, that probably means it's too good to be true, right?
Mhm.
But I like to think about the fast track is like you have a coach, you have me pointing out and saying the hard things that you may not want to hear, but that you're going to grow from, right?
Right.
And the more willing the client, like you were, to
Mhm.
feel the big feelings and hear the things and be like, okay, I'm going to fix this, the more
Yeah.
you grow. So
Right.
I always like to recommend, like, if you're willing to hear hard things and you're hungry to grow your business, this program is really perfect for you versus people
Mhm.
that are like, I don't really want to fail, or like, I'm not really ready to be full-time in my, like, if not,
Yeah.
you're not ready to explode your business, do not sign up for this. Like,
Exactly.
straight up. But it has to do with the client's willingness to feel feelings. And
Right.
you were such a good example of that. So let's celebrate that for a minute. And could you just tell us a little bit about like what were some of the feelings that came up for you for somebody who's like, oh my God, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Feeling feelings.
Yeah. I mean, I think I felt like at times it was just like my own self-doubt, like this isn't
Mm,
gonna work.
mhm,
I think I felt like in the middle, like
mhm,
dependent. Like I'm like, ah,
mm,
but I need Holly to like check
mhm.
it
Yeah.
off every time I'm doing it wrong,
No.
things like that.
Yeah.
And then you just keep practicing
Mhm,
the tools that she's giving you, and you realize, oh, I can do it. It's just a new way of thinking
mhm,
about it, or a new process I didn't try yet. So
mhm,
yeah, I think some of the feelings I felt, it was some self-doubt, but it's
mhm.
funny because it's like I was already feeling that. I don't
Yeah.
know that anything was like new
Mhm,
feelings,
mhm,
but yeah, for sure self-doubt crept in. And yeah, I think you just keep going though.
mhm,
and
mhm. What
and
were
then
some of the positive feelings that you were needing to learn how to experience? Because the hard stuff we
Yeah.
know about, right?
Yeah.
But like, what were some of like the feelings that you were surprised that you needed to learn how to feel?
I feel like I needed to learn how to receive things,
Mm, yes.
which is such a positive
Mm-hmm.
feeling. But
Mm-hmm.
there were things there too that were like I needed to relearn that, or I don't even know where I forgot how to learn that, but like there was a lot of blocks for
Mm-hmm.
me in receiving, like whether it's like money,
Mm-hmm.
or just like looking at what I already have. Like I'm totally
Yes.
great where I am,
Mm-hmm.
even if my business where it's not going to not grow, but like even if
Mm-hmm.
it didn't, I like
Mm-hmm.
it was good to receive and know what's already happening. But that was
Mm-hmm.
also kind of, it's like you wanted positive, but that was sort of kind of a hard
Yeah.
one too. Like I had to relearn how to
Yes. Yes.
receive what I already had. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about that for just a minute. I know we're like running close on time, but I want you to think about there was a moment where you were like, okay, I'm understanding. It's because I don't know how to receive.
Mhm.
And talk about like what was that shift for you that I helped? Because I remember I left you like a really juicy
Yeah.
Voxer message about how to do that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the exact what it was that you might have said, but it was like
Mhm.
it was just like I started to just notice it everywhere.
Yes.
Like you talked about something that always it still sticks to me. I like drive down the road and
Mhm.
see trees and I'm like, huh, Holly story. But you talked
Yeah.
about how like looking around and like everything is so abundant
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
already, like you were like looking at a tree, you said, I think, and like all the leaves, and you're like, look at all these freaking leaves that are just
Yeah.
at my disposal if I need them. And so it was more, it was like even, yeah, like just yesterday I was like talking to my husband, I'm like, look how beautiful everything is, and look at
Yes.
that, like everything's just amazing and here for us,
Mm-hmm.
and like believing that the universe or God or
Mm-hmm.
whoever, like it's so abundant, right?
Yeah.
So but receiving what it
Mm-hmm.
has for you. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that answered your question, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what came to mind for me, like being able to just see the world differently, as like it's
Mm-hmm.
not like me against them. It's more like, oh, everything's happening for
Mm-hmm.
me in the right way, in the right
Yes.
time. It's gonna be
Yes.
okay. And that kind of
Yeah.
it just calms you and centers
Mm-hmm.
you to like, okay, let's get to work, instead of
Mm-hmm.
I need everything and they've got to sign up, and more of
Yes.
a graspy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scare. So just a little teaching moment, that scarcity and lack mentality has you looking at the world that way. So that's why I
Right.
was telling Corey, like, look at the trees, like, look for abundance and you will start seeing it and you will start creating it. And for those of you who are like, I don't really like the word abundance, because some people like it's
Yeah.
become a word, like a
Uh,
hype word. But
yeah.
it's like, look at what's available to you that you already have in front of you, like
Mhm.
the internet. How abundant are we that we have the
Yes.
internet to connect with people instantly? And when you
Mhm.
come into that energy, now you're like, okay, where are these people? How do I find them? How do I talk to them? How do I get them into
Yes.
my business so I can help them?
Right.
So good.
Well, and it was such a shift for me too. I remember another one, like I work for the life coach school and I have clients there, but
Mhm.
for I wasn't seeing them as my
Mhm.
clients. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't have any clients.
Yeah. You're
Those
like,
are my clients.
nobody.
But I shifted that too. Like,
Mm.
wait a minute. They can like sign up and see that it's me and decide not
Yeah.
to,
Hmm.
So they're actually choosing to be coached by me. It was just shifts like
Hmm.
that where I'm like, I have clients all over the world
Yes.
already, and
Yes.
now I don't need more. But
Hmm.
if more want to come in, I'm cool
Yeah.
with that. So it's
Yeah.
such a shift from like, I don't know what I'm doing,
Hmm.
kind of
And for
feeling.
those of
So
you who are like, I have no one, okay, look at your social media following. If you have 10
yeah.
people following you, those are all your clients and you get to help out those
Yeah.
people.
Right.
So just to wrap us up, tell us like where you were when you first signed up and now tell us where you're at now. Like what specifically changed for you?
Yeah. So where I was when I first signed up was like, I don't know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, I know that I can show up, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but I don't know. Ugh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about where you were before you started the program and where you are now, and really give us this give us the tea, the specifics.
Yeah.
What changed for you?
Well, so from where I started was really not trusting myself,
Mm-hmm.
like, and not trusting that I could show up as myself.
Mm,
And I feel like that's been the biggest transformation is like letting go of everyone else's
mm-hmm.
opinions or what they think I should be, or even my own, and like
Mm-hmm.
coming to a more authentic
Mm-hmm.
version of myself, or just showing up
Yeah.
fully as
Yeah.
me instead of like what people want.
And where did that leave you in your business?
Well, in my business, then it's like fun instead of a
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do because
Mm-hmm.
I should be doing it right, and there's somebody's gonna say something, and
Mm-hmm.
like it was so focused on everybody else. So in my
Mm-hmm.
business now, it's like, no, I know what's
Mm-hmm.
best.
Mm-hmm.
I can make decisions. I can use the tools Holly gave me to just serve my people as me instead of, I feel like I was stuck in the space of like, who am I? I
Mm-hmm.
got to be this version of me that I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know how to be her because I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, you know,
Yeah. So now
me
you
trying
have
to be
like,
something else. Yeah.
yeah, your boot camp. You sold like the first few people like got a bonus, and now you have people signing up past that. So she has like
Yeah.
demand now in her business, right?
Yes.
Where would you say you were before, and like what phase of your business were you in before?
Before I was just like zero. I mean, I don't want to say like zero demand, but I think it was
Mhm.
back to the question where we were talking about wasn't speaking their language at all.
Yeah.
So I've come from like people kind of liking it but not really
Mm-hmm.
knowing and maybe being confused to now, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I get what she's talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do want
Yeah.
that. Where do I sign up? Instead of,
Mm-hmm.
so it makes perfect sense to me. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, all it took was that small shift of how can I say this in their language? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly thinking that, like that
Yeah.
hook
Mm-hmm.
value,
Yeah.
call to action. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know why people aren't signing up, that's why, because you aren't speaking their language. And you might
Mhm.
think that you are, you might sound super profound, you might give them the best tools, but if they're not resonating, it's because of
Yeah.
that, because of you,
Yeah.
boo, writing the post.
Yeah. And it was like the smallest little shifts, even like I
Mhm.
always would say like we.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I mean, not to be like super
Mhm.
nitpicky, you'll learn this
Yeah.
with Holly, but like talk to them like
Yes.
you. I'm talking to
Mhm.
you, Holly. I'm not
Yes.
talking to the whole group of
Universe.
moms,
Yes.
as a whole, we as
Yeah.
moms. No.
Mhm.
So even those small
Mhm.
shifts, I think
Yes.
make them feel like, oh, whoa, she talking to me? It's just
Yeah.
a
Yes.
good thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You want to make them feel lovingly pointed out
Mhm.
and being like, I see you. Come on over here. Let me help you. Really good.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, what actionable advice would you give somebody who's like hesitating or like, I don't know if I should invest in my business, or like, I don't, maybe I'm not there. I'm not enough yet. Maybe I should make
Yeah.
some money before I invest. Like, what advice would you give somebody?
I would just say what the hell and do it, because
Yeah.
that's a bunch of like, what does all that even mean? But
Yeah.
I would say, I would say do it and stop. Like you're gonna get on, and you're gonna propel yourself with this
Mhm.
opportunity. You're gonna propel yourself forward. You're gonna see all the ways that you're holding yourself back, and it's just gonna be like, I mean, I don't want to say smooth sailing, but yes, because you know how to
Mhm.
direct your business now,
Yes.
so where you're, all those confusing pieces that you have
Mhm.
get cleared up. And yeah, I would just say do it. It's okay. Like I said, if
Mhm.
you're feeling a little nervous,
Yeah. Yeah.
good anyway, because
Yeah.
you'll thank yourself. Like you'll look back and be like,
Yes.
I'm so glad I did that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody knows, right? That they should sign up for a consult so we could talk about your nerves. Like, I'm not going to be like, you have
Mhm.
to sign up now without talking to me. Like, we do consults, right? Where we talk about
Yeah.
where you are, where you want to be, and then I give you your action plan. And that's going to help you make more business. I think people forget too. It's like when you pay for the program that's going to help your business, you make money in your business
Yes.
instead of like
Yes.
waiting and waiting, that you wait to make money when you don't find out what's not
Right.
working.
Right. It's so true.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, watch me, Holly. I got
Yeah. People are banging at her door.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
fun.
tell us where people can find you online, and tell us a little bit about how people work with you and give us all the details.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can find me online. I'm on Instagram, Corey Pickett Coaching. And yeah, I have a program that you can sign up for. You can get on a consult with me. My page tells you all about that, but um, it's fast. It's a 3-month weight loss
Mhm.
program. And I think it's just great for moms that want to
Mhm.
stop being controlled by the food. So yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there we have it. And if you are watching this and you're like, I want what Corey wants, sign up for a consultation with me. You can find it on my website. It's coachwithholly.com, or you can check me out on Instagram. And I talk about that all the time. It's a link in my bio. But
Awesome.
thank you, Corey, for
You're welcome.
celebrating me and you working together. And I'm
Yes.
just so excited to see where your business takes you.
Oh, me too. Thanks
All
so
right,
much.
thank you.
Hey, we'll see ya.